My name is Helena. I am the Senior Director of Product at Houzz Pro. With me here today is Itai.
Hi, everybody. My name is Itai, and I'm the Integration Product Manager at Houzz, working on the QuickBooks integration.
So some of you may already know me from Ivy. I actually got to Houzz through Ivy. And today what we want to do is actually introduce you to the Houzz Pro QuickBooks integration to allow you to ask any questions that you have. And of course, give you a demo of Houzz Pro. So let's actually get started with Ivy to Houzz Pro. So the differences between Ivy and Houzz Pro are not huge. The system is slightly different. And again, we'll go through that as well for those of you who are less familiar with it. But what I wanted to start with is actually what changes were made in the mapping between Houzz Pro or Ivy and QuickBooks. So what I've done here is we've listed out all the different objects that we have in Houzz Pro with the objects that they map to in QuickBooks and what trigger actually causes this mapping to the sync to occur. So we'll start with proposals and estimates. This obviously syncs into estimates inside QuickBooks. And the way that that gets synced is when that estimate or proposal is approved inside Houzz Pro. This is different from what we had in Ivy. You can see that with changed equals yes. What we had in Ivy was when the proposal was initially created, it would automatically sync into QuickBooks. The same thing happens in invoices. Invoice in Houzz Pro maps to an invoice in QuickBooks, and it actually syncs on over when that invoice is issued. Now, here is a larger change from what we used to have in the Ivy days. In Ivy, there was no such thing as an issued invoice. You couldn't void invoices. None of that was happening. What would happen actually is any change that you would make would impact QuickBooks and potentially also impact your books. So in Houzz Pro, we've added the ability to issue an invoice. We also have the ability to void invoices, and we'll show you that full flow and exactly how it works. And hopefully it keeps your books more organized or your clients' books more organized. Payment syncs over into payment. That's really easy. Retainers sync over into sales receipt. Back in Ivy days, this actually would sync over into unapplied payment. And again, that's actually synced when the retainer is paid in Houzz Pro, and in Ivy it used to be when the retainer was created. Skipping over things that remain the same. So again, a PO syncs to a PO, and that's when a PO is shared rather than Ivy where it was created. A billed PO will actually sync over to a bill in QuickBooks when the PO is billed. PO payment into a bill payment when that payment is logged. And what's actually new here is credits. So credits inside Houzz Pro, again, they can be created in several different ways, and we will go through that a little bit when we do our demos. But a credit will actually sync into an unapplied or a partially applied payment in QuickBooks, and that's upon that credit creation. And again, this wasn't supported back in Ivy days, so just a couple of improvements that we've made here. I'll skip through the rest because they're very simplistic. It's just the project to customer, the vendor to the vendor, and the products or parts or services to products and services in QuickBooks. So again, just a quick intro on that mapping. And what we want to do now is actually go through a live demo that Itai will go through.
Thank you, Helena. Let me just share my screen real quickly. So I'm going to start with making the initial connection between Houzz Pro and QuickBooks. What we're going to do, we're going to click the gear icon on the upper right side and then go to integrations. Now, once we land on the integrations page, you can see we have the QuickBooks tab right here. We can click it and get to the QuickBooks connection page.
And Itai, quick question. Let me just stop you for a second. If one of the clients here of our bookkeepers are actually connected to QuickBooks in Ivy and they migrate over into Houzz Pro, how would that work?
So in that case, the connection token will be migrated as well, and you won't need to reestablish your connection between the two apps. But for you who are coming to this integration for the first time, so of course you'll need to come here and connect between the Houzz Pro app and QuickBooks. So we do have here some quick steps on the obvious things that most of you already have in order to make this connection successful. So, of course, we have an article for each one of them on exactly how to go and set up your taxes, turn off your automations in QuickBooks, and turn on purchase orders in case you haven't done that already. And once you're ready, you can click here on the connect button and of course going over the terms of use, and connect to QuickBooks. Once we'll do that, we'll be redirected to QuickBooks to establish the connection. You'll be able to select the company you want to make the connection with. In this case, it's my test account. I'm going to say yes to connect.
And again, this is just, as you all know, a one-time thing, just to establish that initial connection.
Yes. So right here, we land on the status tab where we can see when was the last sync made. In my case, it was a few hours ago. For you connecting for the first time, it will say never. Of course, we have some extra, features here like the settings where you can map your chart of account and set up your syncing date if you don't want everything to sync right away to QuickBooks.
And this is a great feature. Sorry. This is a great feature because it actually allows you to determine when you're starting the sync from. Yes, this isn't something that we had back in the Ivy days, and it's definitely helpful, especially if you're bringing in a new client who already did some of their bookkeeping otherwise, and now they're starting in the middle of the year or in a different part from when you connected to them.
Definitely. Another option we have here is mapping for products or services. Again, if you want them to sync to some specific account of yours in the QuickBooks chart of accounts, you can go here, add the category that you would like to map, select the income account, select the expense account, and go from there.
This is for designers, correct?
Yeah, that's for designers. For general contractors, it's currently not applicable. And the connection tab where you can see your company details, and of course, you can disconnect this integration whenever you feel like. From here, I'm going to...
And one quick stop here. Any questions before we continue about the connection statuses? And also we have error messages as well that are shown here.
Yeah.
In this case, we have no errors.
But of course, if you would have some syncing issues, we're going to provide you with the relevant error message on how to resolve that issue right here on the status page.
Perfect.
Ready to go?
Yeah. All right. Let's go through our demo.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump into one of my test project and just run you through a quick demo of how you might or how your pros might be using this integration. So right here, we can see our project overview. Lena, if you want to tell them a bit about the new features we have here.
Absolutely. So this is your project overview, very similar to what we used to have in Ivy, but of course, a few changes. So at the top here, we've added the finances. And later on, we'll actually go through a full view of the financial dashboard that your clients will be able to see inside each individual project. And of course, they have quick access into all the different proposals, invoices, purchase orders, etc. Won't go through all the features here, but do know that there are a lot of new features for our designers and builders to use, as well as all the old features that they loved, including that project tracker. What is critical for us to show you here, of course, is how that proposal works inside QuickBooks connection, invoices, how you actually issue them, how that converts over into a PO, what happens if somebody voids an invoice. So let's go through that flow.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll be jumping between few tabs here between QuickBooks and Houzz Pro.
You're going to have to switch.
Yeah, I'll have to switch. Yeah, of course. Let's start with the proposal. So I'll go to the proposal tab and create a new one from scratch.
And what's great here, by the way, is that our designers and our builders can create templates out of their estimates and proposals. And you can also make sure to set the right tax agencies and the tax amounts and ensure that they're using them in all the documents accurately. So templates are a huge improvement here for our designers and also for all the financial situations that come around that.
So here we have a blank proposal. I'm going to add some items to it just to make it nicer for us. We have a mirror and we have a guitar. Okay. Course. And now that we've added our items, we can see their cost, their markup, shipping cost if we want to add them, shipping markup, and of course we can switch between making the item taxable, the shipping, or both. And at the bottom here we have the summary for everything, and we can also go and change the sales tax for the entire documents. And on the top here, under the proposal, we can see we have this what we call a sync indicator. So currently, because we are connected to QuickBooks, we have this indication here saying that once this document will be approved, it will sync to QuickBooks. So of course, we can go ahead and approve the document. Again, once this document will be approved, it will sync over and we won't be able to make any changes to it. So now we can see that the indicator states that the sync is in progress. And once done, it's all synced, and soon we'll switch over and see everything in QuickBooks. The next thing I'm going to do is to go and create an invoice from this proposal. So I'm going to click on create invoice. Now what happened is we've created a new invoice and moved over all the line items from the proposal here to the invoice. Again, we can go ahead and schedule several payments on this invoice if we want to break it down into more than one payment. We can go ahead and log payments. We can select if we want to use any of the existing payment methods, or if we want to create a new one, we can just type here and create a new payment method for initiating the payment. For this instance, let's go with cash. We can give it some kind of a reference. Let's just go with a number. So now that we've applied a single payment, we can see that the invoice is marked as partially paid. We can go ahead and apply the remaining amount, let's say using check this time. Again, we'll mark it as paid.
And now, as long as our invoice hasn't been issued, we are not synced yet, correct?
We're not synced, and we can still go ahead and make changes to the invoice. Now that we've decided we're done, we can go and issue that invoice. Again, getting the message saying that once issued, we won't be able to make any changes. Let's confirm it. Again, we can see the indicator here saying that it's syncing and successful. Now let's just switch quickly to the QuickBooks tab. So yeah, now in QuickBooks, we can go to the sales overview. Now, as we've seen before, we can see all sales. And now we can see that we have our estimate that's now marked as closed. We can open it, see all the different line items that we've applied on it. So right here, we have those 3 line items. We can also see the invoice and the 2 payments that are applied. So the invoice is marked as paid and both payments are marked as closed. If we'll go now back, the invoices issued and paid, we can see that we have the option here in the more action section to actually go and void this invoice. Again, we can enter a reason if we want, and if not, we can check. We can also send an email notification to the client, but for us, let's just void it. So now, once the invoice is voided, we can see it's marked as issued, paid, and voided. We can go now back to the project, and under retainers and credits, we'll be able to see the payments that we've made for it. So right here, we can see the 2 payments with their reference, and we can also see the original they came from. If we'll go back to QuickBooks, we'll be able to see that the invoice is now voided, and both payments are marked as unapplied. Going forward, if we'd like to create a new invoice for this instant, we can go ahead, create a new one, and just when coming to the payment section, we'll be able to go and apply the existing credits and use them to pay for the newly created invoice. So I can go here, add some new items. We got to a total of $2,000. I can go to log payments. And now under the payment methods, we can see that we have $225 available as a credit. We can go ahead and apply it, say done. And now basically this credit was deducted from the overall total, and we have a new upcoming payment for the rest of the amount. Again, we can go ahead and log it. Let's use PayPal. Let's add a random reference number. And again, this invoice now is again paid. We can go share it with the clients or issue it. And of course, once issued, we'll see the indicator again, progress, and all synced. Switching back to QuickBooks, we'll be able now to see that everything that we've made is now updated in QuickBooks, and you can see all the history, all the documents that we've synced, and of course the payments and how they apply on each document. So right now we can see we have our new invoice marked as paid. We have the original 2 payments that are now closed and attached to this invoice ending at 86. If we'll go to one of them, we'll be able to see it here. So yeah, both apply to this invoice that we've just created, and of course the additional payment for the rest of the amount.
Perfect. And of course, with issuing an invoice, you can issue an invoice at any time. If you're ready to lock that down, of course, payments can always be applied after the invoice is issued. So Itai, thank you so much for that amazing demo. All right, so we know that we've made some changes to the integration to when things are syncing. And as you know, we're always working hard to make more and more improvements into Houzz Pro and into how we integrate with QuickBooks, and also how we work with our bookkeepers and our designers and builders as well. Katie, are you here?
I am here. Hello.
Perfect. Do you want to talk a little bit oh, Peter's here as well, actually, talking a little bit about our partners program.
Yes. Peter, do you want to walk through that?
How's everyone doing? So our agency partner program, for those of you listening currently, we've most likely spoken before about our agency partner program, and really what we're looking to do with it is provide our bookkeepers, accounting firms with more efficient access to Houzz Pro to help enable their clients to utilize Houzz Pro with their business. We won't go through the entire details of the program today, but we found that so many designers, general contractors, home renovation professionals are not only utilizing Houzz Pro, but the QuickBooks integration has been very beneficial. So for those out there that are providing bookkeeping services, there is a way that you can partner with Houzz Pro now to not only receive additional insight information on product updates, additional education, but also get access to exclusive discounts to be able to get your clients on Houzz Pro at a great rate so that they can start benefiting from their business. So if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. My email is here, peter.hoyt@houzz.com. Or if you've received an email from me previously, feel free to reply to it and we can absolutely jump on a call to discuss. But yeah, it's been great to work with so many of you, and we're very excited to continue to expand this program and ideally help your clients with their businesses via Houzz Pro here. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And thank you, everybody, for attending today. And thank you, Ty, for walking us through everything and for doing some great work on the new integration and everything we're doing there. As I said before, if you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, please feel free to reach out. You could reach out to Peter directly and he will forward everything to us, or you can email us directly as well, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Looking forward to hearing from you soon.